All right, hi everyone, and welcome to day 334 of this artificial intelligence project where we're trying to make AI more accessible. So today we had our chat with Anderson Horowitz. They go by A16Z. And yeah, I also have been working, I worked yesterday night and today with Iñaki fixing customer issues in Heroku, and I'll talk a bit more about customers. Yeah, so actually, I think it actually went really well. The chat with Anderson Horowitz, basically the same pitch that we practiced yesterday. I think the only thing that I added was this bottom line, which they didn't even care. Um, yeah, so they ask a lot of questions. Most of them they were good questions, like, hey, exactly, in which use cases would people, use this dashboard. They ask like, why exactly are you calling yourself an AI platform? And the way that we answer that question is like, well, because it's not just the drag and drop, embed the report, but we also have a code behind each block, and we're leveraging technologies like Python when needed. And yeah, we're putting all this together in a easy to use platform, and that's why we call it an AI platform. They mention, yeah, what's your team, which we presented. They didn't really care about the market size. There were no questions there. They actually asked like, yeah, you sound really familiar with observable. How is that different? So we went there and we explained that. I think the biggest change was that observable is not focused on drag and drop, and it's really for data scientists and people that are willing to write code. And we mentioned how there's like a huge jump between that. They also mentioned it like, why wouldn't people just learn Streamlit from your tool? And I mentioned, yeah, like some people will jump from HAL9 to Streamlit, but that's the same like transition that they would have to do to move from Power BI to Streamlit. And they need to invest like 6 months of their life learning Python, all the ecosystem and all those things, and become kind of like data scientists. And while it's true that maybe there's a 20% of people that are moving there, many people are actually staying on the BI community, and they're proactively looking for tools like HAL9 that simplify their workflows or give them additional skills. They also like ask like, why would anyone actually, why would they actually be motivated to use HAL9? And actually, Kevin asked this question like literally yesterday. So credit goes to Kevin. And like the explanation there was like, yeah, well, we see that we talk with a bunch of BI users, and we know that they're proactively looking to grow their career and learn more skills and take the skills of data science into their workflow. So we think that they're motivated as to progress their career and get to progress their career. And then when they talk with their managers about HAL9, the manager usually asks about costs, and we find out that it's a good argument to let them know that we can provide more interactivity, privacy, while also helping them manage their costs. So I think overall it was really good. Like all the questions that they asked, we had a good answer for. The only one that was a little bit weak is, okay, can you talk a little bit about your traction, number of customers? And there we told them the truth. It's like, yeah, we have a handful of customers on our basic and pro plans. And we're exploring customers in the pro plan and an enterprise plan. We mentioned that we've grown our registered users from 100 to 300 on the last 3 months. That we have customers, and we got, yeah. So I don't know. To me that felt a little bit weak, because it's like, oh, okay, they're asking specifically for customers, and we don't have that many, right? So I think if they come back with a rejection, I think it's gonna be mostly feedback around, hey, we really like what we were doing, but like we feel like we want to wait until you have more customers and more traction. That could happen, definitely. But I think overall, I think the questions were right on point, and we had good answers. For this one, we had answers as well. I did mention it like, hey, we just launched our beta 2 weeks ago. But by 2 weeks, maybe you could argue that we should have more users, right? So anyways, yeah, so that was it. Then I spent some time with Iñaki working on the customer application that he's putting together. Mostly there were issues with Heroku. It was crashing. We found out why it's crashing. It happens to be the case that whenever there's a SQL exception, it crashes the entire server, which is like great, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, so but we got basically the webhooks. This application they need kind of like a server, and why not on webhooks? Well, I also talked. Actually, I forgot to mention this. I talked with Anchit about the course that we're doing, and Anchit is doing great progress. Yeah, and the plan is he's gonna put kind of like the structure, and I think he's interested in building the course on both HAL 9 with examples and the text, and then I might be me or Austin might be the ones that actually end up recording the videos and having the course. So there was that. The customer, yeah, the Heroku. Oh, and also good news. Our first customer, I think I mentioned that they came, then they ghosted us out. We changed transition. We transitioned to the beta release and HAL 9, and we kind of like lost that conversation. And we didn't want to continue charging them money because they weren't using HAL 9 proactively. So we canceled their subscription. But then like we got contact again today, and they were like, hey, yeah, like we would like to continue this project. What do we need to do? And I'm like, yeah, you just need to get like a basic account to run the application, and you will have to get a pro account when the time comes to actually, if you want to embed this in your website. So that's actually good news because we were a little bit bummed that they didn't want to work with us. I mean, they never said that they didn't want to work with us, but like we didn't hear from them for a while. And I think one of the things that I've learned is that sales cycles take a really long time. Like we've seen that basically on average has taken us like 6 months to get a customer that is on the enterprise, while customers that go directly to the website to the basic plan, like we've been getting customers literally the day we launch, right? So yeah, the sales cycle is, I don't want to say that it's terrible, but like yeah, it does take a really long time. Yeah. I do have to do more work for our chat tomorrow with our third customer, so I'll probably spend some time there. I also got we got potentially another contribution. So for our quick raise that we're doing for 60K, we have I think potentially 10K that we can use to keep funding HAL 9 for the next few months. The people from from Anderson Horowitz did mention, which I think is interesting, that they're gonna discuss HAL 9 with their partners next week, and next week they're also gonna give us feedback. And I think I was telling Kevin and Pedro that we probably have like a 30% chance. Like I don't have my hope ups that they're gonna come back and invest, mostly because you don't know until you know. But I think it went really well, and they're gonna come back with us. And they actually mentioned that if we're a good match and this comes back positive, there's another interview with their partners, and then they close in 2 weeks. So we could actually potentially get VC funding by the end of December. But like I still think it's a good idea that we're raising 60K because yeah, like I mean the problem is like if funding doesn't come, I'm not gonna be able to get money, and then it just gets really stressful. I guess we could still pay salaries for December, but I don't want people to be working at HAL 9 knowing that there might not be money, right? Like that's just terrible. So that should never happen. So yeah, we have I think with the contributions that we have right now, we have also enough to extend our runway for January, and we're hoping that we raise more just to have not to have a hard end on December, and maybe if everything aligns, maybe we might be able to get VC funding, yeah, on the next few weeks, maybe months. We'll see. Um, yeah, well, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. I'll keep you posted and see you around.